All right, I'm here with Jim Williams. Jim, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, Gabe. Good to see you.
Yeah, man, good to see you. So, Jim, tell the people, how much weight have you lost so far?
About 32 pounds so far and still heading down. I've readjusted my goals because, once you get on the program and your default actions are really ingrained,
Hmm.
I know I can hit those goals now. There's not a doubt. I don't have any doubt in any fiber of my being that I'm going to hit those goals.
That's
So
awesome.
it's
That's awesome.
exciting.
It's really exciting. So, I mean, just to like open this thing up, maybe we can talk a little bit about that because it sounds like as you started to see progress and started to see that the default actions were getting ingrained and this is just becoming part of who you are, you almost like set a new standard for yourself. So what's the new standard? Or I guess what was the original goal and now what's the new goal?
So the original one was at the time that we started, I was at 234 as my first weigh in. I had been at 237 a few weeks before that, kind of going up and down on the yo-yo. I set it at 205.
Mhm.
Okay. I hadn't weighed below 215. I weighed 215 as a senior in high school, and I was considered myself pretty much in shape. So
Mhm.
the weight was arranged differently than it is now at age 69.
Mhm.
But I can tell you that once I got in there, I figured if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to commit and I'm going to, you guys know what you're doing. I committed to really getting into the material, following the program, and doing the written stuff, doing the spiritual exercises, and taking even though I had lifted before, I listened to all the recordings. I thought I knew a little bit about nutrition. I didn't know anything about nutrition. And lo and behold, it started working. And then once you get those, you get like a personal best on your workout, and I listen to you say, you got to keep pushing till you have zero left in the tank, and you get those little gains every day for every workout, and that really motivated me.
Mhm.
And then the weight, of course, starts coming off.
Mhm.
That's really exciting for me. I've been hovering around, between 230 and 240 probably for 8 years or so,
Yeah.
and tried all kind of wacky things and different foods and different ways to eat. And this is so obvious. You guys have the right approach, I think. I was coached. I hadn't worked out where you actually log in your progress. I hadn't done that in years, and be able to log things
Mhm.
and track your progress is one of the keys. Your nutrition, um, the exercise. I think that the coach Chris
Mhm.
um, started me out right and kept me moving along at a good enough pace. He was a good coach. He was a cheerleader at times,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's good because I don't know how many other people are like me, but I'm kind of out here, on an island,
Yeah.
and so getting that feedback again ingrains the default action, makes it so much easier, and then a few weeks into it, a month into it, it's ingrained.
Yeah.
I think I joked around about every piece of food I look at now, I try to picture in my head how it's going to look in the app when I log it. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
some things some things I didn't think were so high calorie,
Mhm.
like blew me away. It's like, wow, wow, man, I see a lot of that. But it's the food, the food that we're eating and the high protein stuff is stuff I love anyway.
Mhm.
It's not even like hard, and then you mix it with good carbohydrates and yeah. So I'm just so excited. And um, I spent a lot of time in my career kind of ignoring my health,
Mm. Yeah.
and got myself in a bad way. Um, so by the time I was 60, I had to have a artery bypass on my left leg or lose the leg. So I guess I chose the operation.
Yeah.
And at that time they give you all kind of medications to thin your blood and treat blood pressure. and get your, statins to get your cholesterol down. My numbers were off the charts, and not a good outlook, right?
Yeah.
And that really concerned me because I don't like taking drugs of any kind because they always have bad side effects.
Hmm.
And so as I started continuing on the program and the weight started coming off, I started to notice that when I worked out, I was getting lightheaded.
Mm.
And, there's a couple of things getting electrolytes, but also my blood pressure was like low, low. And
Ah,
so, yeah. And so I started breaking my medication in half,
yeah.
and taking my blood pressure every day. I wasn't like ignoring my blood pressure.
Mm.
So I was logging that as well. And the statins, or not the statins, but the blood thinner, the warfarin I was taking, really bothered me because, I mean, it's rat poison.
Yeah.
It's rat poison,
Yeah.
and it's not cool. So as I got the weight down, I ended up having a doctor appointment,
Hmm.
and based on the numbers that he was seeing, and what really helped sell him was the exercise, the weight loss. I was logging all this stuff. I was tracking my nutrition, and then the blood pressure readings.
Hmm.
And he agreed to take me off that. So that was a very, very happy day.
Man, that's incredible. That is
It was
incredible,
so cool. I never would have thought this. I never would have dreamed this.
man. Man, that's incredible, man. It's just like the commitment and the follow through. It's incredible how quickly things can turn around after just being stuck for like 8 years, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's incredible because, I don't believe in coincidences. And for some reason, when I saw I think Jerry reached out on me on LinkedIn or something like that. In my position, I get hit a lot by salespeople,
Mhm.
and 99% of them, you know, I don't pay attention to. For something caught my
Yeah.
eye, it's your approach, and it's Christian based, and that appealed to me.
Mhm.
It really did. And doing this for the right reasons. I'm not doing it to be vain.
Mhm.
I'm doing it because God created a man and he wanted the body to be able to heal itself if I let it. If
Mhm.
I treat it good, he's going to treat it. He's going to help me out, right? And all true.
Man, that's awesome. What an incredible testimony, man. Um, Jim, for you, I'm really curious. Uh, when it comes to the faith aspect of this, how did you see that play in to your health and your habits? How did you connect the dots with those two?
So, I mean, I truly believe that God created us with we are temples of the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
I truly believe that. And in a modern society, especially in America, we just abuse our bodies. I mean, the rat race, whatever you want to call it, the pressures,
Mhm.
and I was paying the price for that. My spiritual life took a real turn back at about the same time I had the operation,
Mhm.
and I kind of got off the wheel for a minute, and I kind of reevaluated my life, and started really figuring out what was important.
Mhm.
What is important in my life, you know? And I've got 6 kids and 17 grandkids.
Mhm.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
And uh, and I wanted to be here. I wanted to be here for them. I want to see some of them get married, and start their lives out good. And so once you start prioritizing things the way God intended,
Mhm.
you got to take care of your body. You
Yeah.
know, God granted me a strong body, and I didn't take care of it very well for a long time, and now I am.
That's incredible. That's incredible. It's like the fitness and the weight loss is just a side effect of the real focus of all of this.
Yes, yes, yes. And God willing, this program may have extended my life. You know, I don't know how long. Because we don't get to have that. But I know one thing for sure: the path I was on, I was going to follow in my father and grandfather's footsteps.
Mhm.
Die. My dad died at 72. His dad died at 68.
Mhm.
So got to stop that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's incredible, man. That's absolutely incredible. Jim, I know one thing when we first talked that you were kind of struggling with was like making time to actually take care of yourself, prioritizing everything else, taking care of everything else, business, family. So, what was the mindset shift that you had that took you from, deprioritizing your health to prioritizing your health?
I actually sat down and talked with my wife and family about it, and I started leaving work at the same time on workout days,
Mhm.
and put it on my schedule.
Mhm.
I follow a schedule. I try to follow a schedule, and really did it. And it's interesting, and I know you know this, but success breeds success. So as things started going correct, I didn't get a lot of pushback,
Mhm.
or you're spending too much time here, or doing that, or um, you're cooking these weird foods that I'm not going to eat, or something like that. There was really none of that.
Mhm.
Uh, and then, of course, when the weight starts coming off, everybody gets excited about that, right?
Mhm.
The only complaint my wife has is now I got to get rid of all my suits. I'm getting them. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a great complaint. Yeah, that's funny. It's the default King's new clothing fee that we forget to tell people about on the front end.
We should open up a clothing store.
I know. Yeah, we can. That's a great additional revenue sources. We're going to be selling you the
Oh,
clothes that you
King.
have to fit into. Man, that's awesome. So something that throws a lot of guys off is just the stress of work in life and business, right? A lot of guys will go strong for a period of time. Something happens, whatever the thing is, they fall off the wagon. I know you experienced that before, but there was a moment just a few weeks ago where you had one of these really high demand
Yeah.
business trips, and I'm not even going to say anything else. Can you just tell that story? Because that was so inspiring.
So um, we have an affiliate office in California. I'm in Ohio, and there was some. I had to take some personnel actions out there that I was really dreading because they're stressful for everybody.
Mhm.
Obviously, the people that are affected most, but it also affects me. And leading up to that, I was really had a lot of anxiety about the trip, and had not traveled during this program.
Mhm.
Of course, restaurant food, hotels,
Mhm.
flights, sleep,
Yeah.
and so there's like 3 hours difference in time. What I found was my body. I normally get up at 5, and my body still thought it was 5 o'clock, so I was up at like 2
Mhm.
a.m. And so the default action kicked in, and I'd go down and I got my workout done, you know. And then I'd go to like store and brought back a bunch of yogurt and jerky and stuff like that, and did protein thing and kept it going. Um, so obviously, we survived the trip. But the great news was that I left it. I think it was 212 pounds, and I came back at exactly the same weight.
Awesome.
So for me, that's a win.
Mhm.
I used to travel a lot. You get used to eating at hotels and stuff like that. You can really
Mhm.
run the pounds, you know. Um, so the action that we took needed to happen. It's over, and the group out there is better off for it, and my health didn't suffer.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is a massive victory. That's a massive victory. That's huge.
I
Man,
was really surprised.
yeah. Well, it's really cool because those are the moments that people point to or almost like blame sometimes as to why it didn't work.
Yeah,
You made it work in this case scenario.
yeah, not a victim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Man, that's incredible. So, um, with this, what I'm curious about too is how do you feel like the health and the fitness and also just the change in your default actions impacted your life outside of just the physical?
So yeah, I am. Motivation is kind of a word that's thrown around, and motivation is good for in the heat of a moment for a football game, maybe. Motivation's not going to carry you through, in my opinion, not long term. Um, Default actions will. And so approaching when I first started this, it's like you guys have this thing where you guarantee you're not going to put the weight back on if you're following the program. It's like I gotta hear this. I don't know what they got. I want to hear about this. And it's what it is. It's really embracing the fact this is how you're supposed to act all the time, um, and getting those actions ingrained, that all the negative stuff about myself, my own psyche, my own body, getting those, identifying those, and then saying, the old me when I hit this used to do X, and now I'm doing Y. And you do Y, you see the great results, and then your brain, your soul always wants to go to Y. It wants to cheat, wants to follow the maze to the cheat.
Yeah, that is a big shift from trying to motivate yourself to
Yeah,
actually getting yourself to a point where you desire to do the things that produce the results.
yeah. To look forward to a workout, and
Mhm.
looking to look forward to getting on the scale in the morning.
Right.
That's huge. I mean, that's huge. I would never dream I would be anxious to get on the scale.
Yeah, that's incredible. And that's something that I think a lot of guys don't understand, especially when they've maybe struggled with that on and off motivation for a long time, is they think and they come in and they're like, Gabe, I just want to be able to, work out even when I don't feel like it and eat the right foods even when I don't feel like it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's great. But we need to get to a point where we feel like it.
Yes, yes.
So it sounds like you're at that point.
I think you did your job well, man.
Good, man. Good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. So I guess just to round this thing off, if there's somebody who is in similar shoes to where you were before you started this and they're kind of on the fence, why would you say that they should take action and change their life right now?
You really need to commit to something. It's very similar to faith. I mean, it is faith.
Mm,
And you really, if you're going to have faith, I don't want to approach the Lord, halfway.
mm,
I want to go all in, and it works. And the thing about it is, you see results right away, and then it just kind of feeds itself into getting these small wins, and pretty soon those wins starts momentum. Um, don't wait. Don't wait. I've tried a lot of different stuff, and this works. I know it's sustainable because of my actions.
mm.
What actions I'm looking for, and what actions I'll accept, and what actions I'm going to take. Say I gain a couple pounds over the holidays, something like that. I'm not worried about that.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
I'm not. Um, my age. I'm not looking to get, you know, ripped. Uh, but I'm not going to be ashamed to take my shirt off anymore. Maybe at the beach either.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. One of the things that I think about constantly as really like honestly the main mission of Default Kings is that I want the testimonies to come out of Default Kings to really just be testaments of God's grace, especially and specifically in this area of our lives. And Jim, like that's exactly what your testimony is. And so I appreciate you putting in the work and committing and following through. And man, your results are incredible, but they also just point to the goodness of our God, man. So thank you for following
Not
through.
done. We're not done yet, Gabe, but I'm getting there. We're closing in on it, brother.
Amen. Amen, man. All right,
Praise
Jim.
the Lord.
Thanks so much, man.